Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I just thought we'd have a little play and do some paper clips. So basically I have brought along these little, they're going to be printables in my shop. I don't know quite when I will be quite done, but hopefully, you know, by the time that I upload this video, hopefully these printables will be in there. And basically they're matchbox tops. I was very lucky, I managed to get some matchbox tops, you know, last weekend, and you know, they're just really lovely images, I think, on them. So I have obviously kind of completed these couple of sheets of the matchbox tops, and I'm just going to quickly show you actually, because when I printed them out, the first time I printed them, my printer was obviously running out of ink, and they came out in this kind of very pale blue type shade, which I just thought was really beautiful. I mean, this is obviously kind of the comparison is, you know, this is how they obviously are in, you know, real life, and this was them with the kind of ink running out. So I absolutely loved them in these shades, and I'm going to try and actually get them you know, scanned in and kind of see how they come out, because you know, sometimes when they scan in they kind of do lose the colour somewhat. So I'm going to kind of have a play with those, but I just wanted to show you, because sometimes when you print things out and your ink's running out, you know, I think sometimes can look better. So I just wanted to kind of show you that quickly. But moving on, so what I thought we'd do, obviously I have some paper clips here with me, and I thought we'll just literally cut out a couple of the matchbox tops. So I'm just going to take out these two, which I thought were rather nice. In fact, I'll take out this one so that we've got a different shaped one here. So if I cut this one out, now obviously around the edges they're kind of jaggedy. Now that's how they actually were, you know, obviously when I bought them. I haven't tidied them up because I thought actually it's quite nice to have options, isn't it? Because, you know, you may want to actually have them looking like the actual matchbox tops as if they have been torn. So I have left the jaggedy edges, if you know what I mean, so that you've got that as an option. So that's basically one of the matchbox tops, you know, ready and cut out. And then what I thought we could do is kind of make some paper clips where it's kind of on the long end of the clip, if that makes sense. So, you know, I know these have obviously been done a lot of times by lots of people, and again, you know, as I've kind of said a couple of times recently, I'm not trying to claim that this is my idea or anything like that. I'm just literally, you know, having a play. That's kind of all I'm here doing at the moment. So I'm going to cut a piece of card here, so it's a similar size, like that. Just make it slightly shorter, because we definitely don't want obviously the card at the back showing at the front, so just like to make it a little bit smaller there. And then I've got some book page here that I will use to just protect my surface. I know that sounds absolutely like a joke, because my surface is obviously this awful board which is covered in paint and what have you anyway, but I don't want to get ink on it that will then get on everything else. So I'm going to just ink it up. Now, I don't know the order in which I'm going to upload my videos, obviously, but I did just do a video, which probably I will have uploaded by the time I upload this, whereby I said that I have just bought this ink pad new. So we're still at that stage where I'm having to kind of dab it off before I use it, because otherwise it's very, very, very dark when you kind of use it. So that's, you know, that's why I'm dabbing it off at the side. So we can obviously have that one kind of like that. And then what I thought was we might have a little bit of fabric kind of showing around it. So I've got this fabric, which was a kind of fabric sample from a shop, And as you can see, it has dinosaurs on it, so obviously we don't want the dinosaurs on there. And literally this was just a kind of fabric sample, and what I did was obviously coffee dyed it. So I'm just going to cut very roughly kind of around the fabric, and then it's got the crinkly kind of edge. I don't really want those, so I'm just going to cut them also very roughly. And like that. We'll just kind of pull a couple of threads so as it looks a little bit more tatty. I mean, obviously I would tear the fabric, but the reason that I didn't was because I only want a very small part, you know, a very small piece of the fabric, and so obviously it's easier to control it by just cutting it. So that looks kind of quite cool to me, just kind of like that. So I'm just going to use my wet glue to kind of glue this on to the fabric in the first instance. So I'm just going to glue that like that onto the fabric. And then what we're going to do is place it onto the paper clip. So then what I want to do is obviously pop this card. So I'm just going to bend the clip up slightly to make it slightly easier to get to. We just want to have this card in here, kind of behind it. So what I'm going to do is actually take my hot glue, which is right here beside me, and I'm just going to pop down some hot glue kind of running around the edge of that paper clip, and then all around on that piece of card. And then very gently, because obviously you can burn your fingers a lot on hot glue guns, and the hot glue is literally stick that onto there like that. And now the whole lot is obviously stuck on to the paper clip. So just pressing that down so it's not too bumpy from the hot glue. Move that to one side so it's not too awful for you all looking at my cluttered surface here. And as usual, I have brought my little tin of goodies along. I always like to have this with me when I'm kind of doing a video, with lots of odds and sods in here. It has, you know, buttons, flowers, bulb pins, all sorts of little bits and bobs. So I've got some diamante there, which I always love using diamante on everything. I think everything looks better with a bit of diamante on it. But I actually thought I had some little kind of faux wooden buttons in here, so that's what I'm kind of hunting around for at the moment, because I thought maybe they would look quite good with the matchbox tops. For some reason that just to me is a bit of a tongue twister, and it doesn't quite flow when I say it. So yeah, the matchbox tops. So I can't now find any of the wooden buttons, which is very frustrating. Ah, there we go, there's one. So there is our paper clip. So I just thought it might look kind of cute with a button on. So pop that there, or we could have a little piece of diamante somewhere. And I've also got some lace trim here, so we could pop some lace on it. No such thing as over decorating, is there? So we could have, or we could have the lace kind of off at the side. I mean, I think that's kind of quite nice like that. Just, you know, kind of with no particular pattern to it, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to hot glue this lace down, just because obviously, you know, I don't want to kind of take the whole day. So just hot glued the lace trim down the side there, and then we could have that faux diamante. I rather like that actually. And maybe won't even bother with the button, although the button looks cute too. Let's have a look. With the button or without the button, maybe with it. So I'm just going to literally take the hot glue again. Again, this is just really for speed. Just going to run a bit of glue down along here and then just pop this. And I mean, this diamante, this was just a little offcut that was just floating about in my tin. So it just, you know, happened to be kind of a good size, I think, to pop on here. Like that. Just pull off the threads from the hot glue and then we can just pop the button on down there at the corner. And again, I will just hot glue that on. Like that. So super simple, but super cute. So that's the first one, which obviously this would hang at the top of a page. So just to kind of demonstrate, so the back of the safety pin, not safety pin, sorry, the back of the paper clip is there and this is the front. So love how that looks, really, really pretty. And then what we'll do now is do one that's sideways on. So if we take this one, for instance, like that. And then I'll just again ink it up slightly. Have to be careful because obviously, as I say, my glue is my ink is very fresh, very new, very inky, and very dark. So there we go, just like that. And then I will just do a similar thing really, in that we'll just take more of that coffee dyed fabric that I purchased and just literally again just going to cut roughly kind of section from the fabric. Actually, if I have it up that end, I can get rid of more of that green that's kind of showing down there. Okay, and then here I just get rid of that that's been cut with the inking shears at the top. I just pull some threads so it looks a little bit rusticy and tatty, like that. And then we're going to do this exactly the same really as the first one, except this one is going to go sideways onto the paper clip. So I'm going to literally take this and glue it onto the fabric just as we did the first one. Like that. And then, just as per the first one, what we're going to do is take this piece of card to kind of back it onto. So I'm going to then again kind of push this out slightly so as we've got a bit more room to play with. And then we need to just decide which way round we want the clip, whether we want it a right-handed or a left-handed. Doesn't matter at all. But you know, you just kind of, if you're making one for a project, I suppose, then you'd have to kind of consider that. But we're not, we're just kind of playing, so that's fine. We can kind of have it here. So what I'm going to do now is literally exactly the same as we did with the first one. So I'm going to take my hot glue, just had that on there. I'm going just literally take my hot glue, try and glue it a little bit under the clip so as it kind of clips on there, and then lots of glue all around the card, and then pop that down onto the piece itself. And again, we're going to kind of press that out, hopefully not get it too bumpy and lumpy like that. And then again, we can obviously decorate this. So there we go. Just going to have a little rummage through my tin again. We could even pop a little bow on here. Got this piece of lace, so I'm just going to cut this lace. This is obviously cut into a circle shape for kind of making flowers, but I'm just going to kind of cut it. Just pop a little bow on there like that. So just for speed, I'm going to hot glue the piece of lace down like that. And then I'm just going to take the little bow and, as I always call them, hold the little legs. And I'm just going to, again for speed, just use the hot glue to glue it down. I might even glue it kind of in the centre more, like that. And then what we could do, you know, if you're kind of thinking it looks a little bit plain, we might be able to kind of stamp a little bit of scrolly kind of effect around the sides. Now I should have really done this first, and you should have really kind of thought about it, but oops, sorry, I've got glue threads now hanging all over me. Let me try and get them off. I should have thought about this first, but unfortunately I didn't. So this is just winging a prayer, hope it works, hope it doesn't look awful while I'm on camera. But we'll give it a try. I've got this very delicate corner stamp here, so if I just kind of stamp it to see just how it kind of looks. So what we could do, I was going to kind of stamp it that way round, but what we could do, take another piece of book page, is actually cover up the Matchbox top printable itself like that, and then we can kind of stamp right the way across like that. And I'll do the same in this corner. So again, just cover up the entire printed item. I hope that I'm in frame. I haven't looked because my iPad's actually pretty high up. Let me just have a look. Oh, thank goodness, I do appear to be, so I hope I have been for the whole video and not just by fluke on this little bit. So again, I'm just going to cover up the printed area, just take a little piece again and just stamp just like that. So I don't obviously need to stamp in this corner because that's where the lace trim is, but I mean, I think that looks kind of just a bit more interesting with the corners kind of stamped there. And obviously this one then is a sideways paper clip, just clips onto the side like that. So super cute. I think they look really, really pretty. I don't know whether we've got time to do any more, but hopefully we'll just be able to kind of do one or two more, because I was thinking we could probably do a paperclip with my little button embellishments. Obviously I did these on a tutorial, and you know, lots of people have said that they've tried them and they're going to make some. So what you could do, in fact what you could do with these is use some fabric. So in fact I will bring this fabric back and just use a little piece of kind of, you know, the piece that I'm not going to use. To kind of back it to. So, and again, obviously you want to trim that down because you don't want it showing outside of your paperclip. So, let's have a look. No, it needs to come down quite a bit smaller. Okay, now the problem is obviously I'm not sure I'm going to cover up my paperclip quite. So what we could do with this is actually back the fabric piece onto another piece of fabric. So I have got more of the coffee dyed neck curtain. So if I just place my piece onto that and then cut around it. Again, doesn't have to be neat. I don't want it to be neat. You know, I'm just literally cutting it around, you know, just so as it's going to cover up the paperclip a bit more, like that. And then that there is obviously going to cover up the paperclip better. So what I'm going to do in the first instance is obviously glue this button embellishment onto the lace. So I'm just using the hot glue because that's nice and quick, and you know, obviously no one's going to have to then wait around or anything. And then I'm going to take this piece and thread it. I'll just kind of move this up a little bit. Oops. Thread it through on the long piece. I just use the long piece because then I've got a bit more kind of, you know, to grip onto with the glue. So that's kind of what that's about really. And then I'm just going to kind of glue the entire thing down here. So if I take my hot glue now, I'm going to try and get under the fabric so it's kind of stuck onto the paperclip a bit better. And then I'm just going to kind of spread my glue all around onto the fabric. And then turn that over and just pop the whole lot onto the button embellishment like that. And again, I'm pressing it down so it doesn't go too lumpy, too bulky. And that's it. It should be kind of pretty well stuck now because obviously hot glue is kind of instant. And again, now the beauty of this one obviously is that it could be a sideways clip, or obviously it could be a top paper clip. So yeah, super cute, I just thought. And another way to use the you know, the button embellishments that we've kind of done before. So I just thought they were kind of a bit of fun really, and yeah, I thought I would come along and have a bit of a play with you guys. So hope that you got some inspiration from that somewhere, and hope that, you know, you might try making some and experimenting a little bit with yours. So thanks very much for watching and have a great day. Thanks a lot. Bye.